I keep it open, transparent, and I want to be straightforward with the truth. Right now, the United Nations as a whole is kind of, if we might say it, we can put them in an example of being would-be one Indian. And that Indian has decided to take his dagger out of the back of his pocket. He's first going to remove the tongue from that individual. After he removes the tongue from that individual, he's then going to take a huge big chunk out of his skull. That individual is only going to classify it as a scalp, but he's actually removing some of his brain along with that hair. After that, if that individual even shakes his head in a manner whereby it looks as if though he's trying to refuse or he's trying to deny, he's going to get his throat cut across to the point that he's going to have his head removed, and then it's going to be shrunken down to a smaller size. I'm just letting you know now where the nation's at right now with the anger while you're making a statement to them about a myth. Nobody wants them to admit nothing. They don't have to admit something that's already a fact. There's too many documentations of truth that proves exactly what the Caucasian, Caucasian Europeans have done in this land that they call America. And believe it or not, the Caucasian Caucasians, in which those that are trying to believe it themselves to be a part of, are not even classifying themselves Caucasian Caucasians. And I'm talking about the other Europeans. The people that are in Germany right now want nothing to do with these so-called Americans that are calling themselves white people. They want nothing to do with them. Justin Trudeau would tell you he wants nothing to do with Joe Biden. Nothing. He's a piece of trash as far as he's concerned. I can say this. I don't care if they get to fighting on stage. Nobody cares if they get to fighting at the so-called would-be summit. Let the truth be told. Xi Jinping wants nothing to do with Joe Biden nor none of the trash that comes from America. But they're liars. I keep telling you, everybody is reading the same documents, beloved, and I keep telling you, you have to make sure that if you're going to say that, you have to let them know that. You have to let them know. You've been around now for 20 years of what we know to be just with us. You were there before we got there. You have to understand that these documents that we've shown you, that we've talked about, we've gone over, we've given to all the nations, we've given to the Vatican, we've made sure that all the popes seen them. These documents are documents of truth. And nobody cares what some Caucasian Caucasian world is right now talking about or thinking. We keep saying to you, they can build all the wagon horses, they can build all the metal so-called would-be containers they want and get inside of them. At the end of the day, this war is coming for them. A war of the world. And it's not going to take a sidestep just so a bunch of crackers can look like they're on top of Mount Rushmore. They're not about to do that.
Yeah.
So meantime, we have to be straightforward with them, and that's why I'm coming at them in this manner. I'm not going to be coming to you in no kind manner. I'm not going to sweeten it over. I'm going to tell you the truth. They're coming to kill you off. Your whole bloodline. They're going to annihilate you off this planet. And most of you are already in fear of losing your bloodline because when you sit down at your breakfast table, as I repeat right now, you got a lot of faces that look like me. Just face it. Nobody cares about your white world of pearl, white innocence, skin and blood, and all that other crap you've been talking for years. Nobody cares. The average one of you right now has a little curly-haired girl or boy sitting at your table. And I want you to understand that right now, your law is even putting you at jeopardy, that if you put a hand on the one hair of that child's head, you're going to be going to jail for a long time for nothing more than child abuse. I'm just telling you what they did. I'm talking to all the crackers who haven't gotten that yet. I know you got some grandchildren in your family. You got some children in your family. You got some nieces and nephews in your family. I need you to understand, you touch one of those little melanated children, and you're going to jail for a long time. And once you get in jail, they're going to kill you off in there for child abuse. I'm just telling you what your government did to you. You idiot. You didn't get it. Abuse, domestic abuse, is on a high level right now. I can assure you that right now, people like Ketanji, Jackson, Brown, she don't have to worry about domestic violence in her house. You want to know why? Because she kind of covers both grounds. She's a female married to a male. That covers her under domestic violence. She's also, excuse me, Ms. Ketanji Brown Jackson, with no offense to you, Your Honor, but she's also a black female in the house with a white man. Last time we checked, lynching became a law in the United States White House where it's illegal. So she covered under that law. Be quiet. I'm talking right now. I need you to understand, for all of you crackers, that one day, shortly, you're going to find yourself sitting on the side of the road like the majority of them out there now with a box of dogs and a little would-be sign saying, we all work for food. Stay with me. No, I'm not attacking you. I need you to understand the reality of what your government has also done to put you in a position to wheel you or to reel you in like you're a caught fish. Listen to me. I'm telling you. You haven't caught it yet. You don't understand it. Joe Biden, you've got to believe it. He's not for you. They're asking him now, don't run. They're asking him to pull his would-be so-called re-election card. Get out of the way. You know why? Because most of the Caucasians out there now have some strange belief that Joe Biden has gotten old. He's senile. He's stuck in his mind of Alzheimer's. And they believe that right now he has allowed himself to go from his would-be KKK house of private would-be membership to being nothing more than a nigger lover. That's what they're saying about Joe Biden right now. Every time they turn around, they say he's doing nothing more than he's giving them more stuff. He's opening it up for the niggers once again. You want to know what they said when Ketanji Brown was being brought into the White House? Honorable, a judge. One of which they normally wouldn't even say. They didn't even say that about Clarence Thomas. They didn't say that. They didn't say that about him. They didn't say that about Powell. Yeah, everybody remember Thurgood Marshall. They didn't say that about Marshall. Thurgood Marshall, he was a black man, yes. Nobody said that about him. They said that they believed that Joe Biden was only bringing a nigger in that he could trust. He didn't trust, Joe Biden didn't trust him. Thurgood Marshall didn't trust him. But they believe that Ketanji Brown will trust Biden and Biden can trust her. Let me help you out. Because they believe that he would have more control over the nigger female than he would over the nigger male. I'm just telling you what was being said. So it's not like he became a nigger lover. They just believed that he had more power over her. But now everyone is believing that because they realized she was married to a would-be so-called cracker, for their statements are being made. No, this is not mine. Just be quiet and listen to what I'm saying. The United Nations is already listening. They already know these things. They get these things every day just like you do. They got WhatsApp app. They got tweets. They tweet too. They got your so-called would-be snapshots. They got your would-be so-called Facebook. They got every social media that you got. They got every nation. Every nation reads those things. Every nation sits there and laugh at the snapshots. I don't. I see people looking at them all the time, watching it over and over again, listening to some of the most wild outest would-be so-called statements that have ever been made. But there's a lot of truthful ones that goes over that so-called would-be Snapchat as well. And all the nations are watching. Behold, I will make you small amongst the nations. You should be greatly despised. The pride of your heart has deceived you. You who dwell in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high. You say, who in your heart will you bring, or how would you bring me down? Who will bring me down to the ground, you say? I think though you ascend as high as the eagle, America, and though you set your nest amongst the stars, America, from there, he says, I will bring you down, says Yah, God of the universe. He asks you a question because the ignorance of you always seems to be lurking about. If thieves had come to you, if robbers by night, oh, how you would have cut them off, would they have not at least stolen until they had enough? If grape gatherers had come to you, would they not have left some gleanings? Oh, how Esau shall be searched out. How his hidden treasures shall be sought after. All the men of your confederacy shall force you to the border. The men at peace with you shall deceive you and prevail against you. Those who eat your bread shall lay a trap for you. No one is aware of it. The reason I'm saying that to you again, because these again are not my words, but they came from the letter of Obadiah, in which the United States of America received way back in 1999, year 2000. They had already read it in Y2K. The end of the world was already up on them. Most of them had nothing more than a box of batteries in which they believed that the lights were going to go out, and they had one little small handheld flashlight that they believed was going to be able to help them get from outer darkness. That shows you how intelligent they really are at the highest level of the so-called United States of America. They believe that Y2K had everything to do with nothing more than a little small battery-operated handheld gadget for light. They missed it. Wow, did they miss it. Y2K came in, slapped them in the face, stuck his hand down their throat, and ripped their tongues out from their very would-be belly button. And they missed it. They were too busy believing that just because they were able to ride around in a Ferrari every other day, or just because they believed that they were at the highest height of the #1 Billboard chart, they wanted to believe that they had bypassed Y2K, the year of our Lord, the year of Yah Allah, the year where he says that I will return. And upon returning, I am going to wreak hell upon this planet until every knee bows and every tongue confess that I am who I say I am, and there is no other. Thousands and thousands, millions and millions of Africans are now stressed with the fact that a majority of them has never, ever left that land. They were never taken from that land. At the same time, that name resonates in a place that they call America, African American. There are some Africans are in America, but they're not those black men and women that were there initially, because they are known as the Indians of the world. No longer shall they be pulled up from the land. I have given them, says Yah Allah, God of the universe. No longer will they be pulled up from the land. That can be found in the book of Amos, the 9th chapter. I can tell you that that book of Amos is a chapter that ends with that very verse just before the book of Obadiah starts. Stay with me. I'm just giving you the reality of the truth of the book in which you classify to be your holy Bible. You classify it to be the prophecy of the universe, but most of you have never read it. And those of you who have read it can't interpret it. And those of you who have believed that you have interpreted it, you have interpreted it only that it might be beneficial for you, you idiots. Israel will be restored, because the one that's there now is not Israel. But it will be restored back to its original state, back to its original form, back to its original people, because Israel has never moved from the location that it was in when the United States of America first decided they were going to shift that title and shift that name and shift that would-be so-called would-be world to a place in 1940s. By the 1954, they were claiming that this new Israel was going to be the coming of the world for God. And right now, those half-made crackers that are there in Israel are doing nothing more than protesting about the laws in which they themselves won't even comply with. Stay with me. Care anything about Benjamin Netanyahu? Not me. Care the less. He can find his way back to that house down there in Georgia where his father spent a lot of time at. Other than that, I can care the less. And no longer shall the land be pulled up. No longer shall they be pulled up from the land that I have given them, says Yah Allah, God of the universe. He says, I will plant them in their land, and no longer shall they be pulled up from the land I have given them, says God. Amos 9th verse, 15th verse, 9th chapter, 9th chapter, 15th verse of Amos. After you will begin to start reading the book of Obadiah. United Nations, the reason I'm giving this to you, because you have so delicately shut down and interpreted everything that's in all of the Holy Scriptures. Until now, the Vatican, every other day, they're receiving nothing more than what they classify as a little slip of paper that says it has the prophecy on this piece of paper. It's read in open house to all of the would-be so-called archbishops, the cardinals. Yes, and even the Pope himself gets to read that one particular scripture every morning. And it's classified as the prophecy of the universe. And right now we're there. It's telling them that the prophecy of the universe, that the two witnesses have already arrived. It has told them that those two witnesses have not just only arrived, but they are working as we so speak. It tells them that in 2000 year, which was the year of 2000, they began to do a work that would be a magnificent work. It would be a work that would be so perfect that no man would be able to stop it. I know. Sounds as if though you said I'm talking about myself. I've heard that before. It's written in your books. I say so be it. I'm not about to give you any pleasure to be unless in fear of what I could do in the magical form of life. But I need you to understand the spiritual form is what you have best be one to be very in recognition of. Because it's here upon you now, and there's no way around it. I know what your thoughts are for me, but you don't know what my thoughts are for you, and that is something I would tell you it would be beneficial for you to know. Your thoughts can do nothing to me. Go ahead and challenge me with my thoughts. Tell me my thoughts can do nothing to you, and I'll show you what my thoughts can do.